Hi, I'm Nicole Belanda. I work at Rockwell Automation as the Customer Advocacy Program Manager, and we're here to talk about results achieved. Today we're talking with Nick from Concentric Integration about some results that they've achieved with one of their key customers. Hi, Nick.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Can you tell everybody a little bit about your role?
Yeah, so I'm a regional manager for Concentric Integration. I live in Houston and I operate the Houston region. I'm also the director of automation for Concentric Integration, which is basically responsible for the automation group. And we're a systems integrator that focuses on just water and wastewater.
Perfect. And we were talking a little earlier and you mentioned that you're based in 2 places in the US and you serve US customers?
Yes, that's correct. So in basically the greater Chicagoland area is our main headquarters. And then Houston, Texas is our other region. And we're a localized firm, so wherever we have a presence is where we operate. We don't basically like fly out to different states and stuff, so.
You serve your own neighborhoods.
Yes, exactly.
That's nice. Now there's a customer you had in the Chicago area
Yes.
that you had really good success with. Can you tell us a little bit about the problem that they were facing?
Yes, so they had a very old control system, and like most water and wastewater utilities, they haven't really spent much on their control system for a long time. They've spent it on parks and roads and whatnot, but the control system just like that afterthought. But it came time to where things were starting to fail. Their products were obsolete and they were from a competitor of Rockwell's. And we came in and said, look, you basically can't get parts for this anymore. And we have a solution from Rockwell that's going to give you much better success. It's going to be better programming, more modular programming. We can do more with it and get more data out of it. And they said, okay, and the rest was history. So
this is why we love our partner network, because they know the intricacies of our products versus some of the other products on the market, and they can help customers navigate that.
Yes. Yeah, and actually there was a few other vendors that came in, not necessarily systems integrators, but like vendors of different products that came in and presented to this customer outside of us. And our customer was nice enough to ask us like, hey, what do you think about this? I know you talked about Rockwell Automation and Compact Logic's PLCs and stuff, but I had this other company that came and they were pitching XYZ. And we had to actually maneuver those waters and say, look, this is still the best option for you. So
you know you've achieved trust when your customers are coming to you for advice on proposals that may be against you.
Yes.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and those are like our ideal clients that love to talk to us and ask us like what we think about things, as opposed to this is what we want and we don't care what you say. So we like take a more consultative approach, and those are the clients that we like that listen to us.
So this customer that you were working with had an obsolete control system. What are some of the risks of an obsolete control system? I know you mentioned it's not the most exciting thing to invest in when you have an old system to upgrade, but why do you need to?
So this actual situation, this is a real world situation that came up with this client, that their main pumping station that was feeding water to all of their ancillary stations, their main processor failed. And the whole station had to go into manual mode. The operators really didn't even know how to do that because they've never had to. So when they came to us like, hey, we need a spare part, we said, well, this is an obsolete product. And as a water utility, you can't really go to eBay to buy parts. Like there's some legality and risk that you take that is not good as a public servant to say like, I went to eBay to fix our system. So we had to actually go to the manufacturer. They had like refurbished product, but it took them like, I think it was like 6 weeks to actually get the part. Wow. And the part we received, we put it in and it failed 2 days later. And we had to get another one that took another 6 weeks to get. So that's one issue, is that spare parts is impossible. So if you lose something, you're kind of sunk.
Yeah, so spare parts can be tricky. You mentioned when they went into manual mode, people kind of froze and didn't really know what to do.
Because they never did it before.
What about if the old control system were to have an issue? Is that something that folks can repair, or I'm assuming that's more difficult with an older control system?
Oh, for sure, yeah. Like to be honest, there's not much you can do. If a part fails, This was a particular failure that it was beyond repair. It was just completely kaput, wouldn't turn on anymore. Not much you can do with that. And the beauty of these devices is, with any device, you can just swap something out and put something in, but if you don't have anything else to put into it, what are you gonna do with it? So yeah, it's impossible to repair in their situation. So we told them, first off, get on something that's a product that is supported by the manufacturer. So if the manufacturer gets called up one day and says, we need this part, they say, no problem, we're still shoving these things off the production line. As opposed to, yeah, no, we can't do anything about it, so.
That makes sense. What solution did your company bring forward to the customer?
So we had three, I'd say, major Rockwell parts that we talked about to our clients. So we had the 5069 Compact Logix series processors. We had the PanelView 5000 series HMIs at the local sites. And then we also used power monitors as well. So the Power Monitor 500s is what we used. So now this system was actually a combination of water and wastewater. So there was a lot of pumps in the system. And one thing they wanted to know was, well, what was our power usage at each site? So we're like, well, if you put a power monitor on each of your pumps at each of your pumping stations for water and your pumping stations for wastewater, we can trend and pull historical data into, they previously had already had a Rockwell historian installed. So we integrated all of that smart stuff into the historian. So now they're getting tons of data they never had before. And future projects are gonna be more analytical, and we're gonna dive more into that energy discussion. So right now they're just pulling the data in. The next step is, okay, what do we do with that data?
That's so neat. So it's control, it's visualization, but even more than just replacing those two pieces that
Yes.
they had in place and were obsolete.
Yep.
It's getting strategic with data and collecting data they didn't have before.
Yes.
And coming up next, how to, figuring out how to use that data.
Right, and that's one thing that really the Rockwell, I guess, universe of parts really helped us out, because they all talk really well together. Other manufacturers kind of do that, but it's just, in my opinion, it's not as easy. So Rockwell, it was very easy to just throw things in there. We can pull data right from the power monitor with just simple add-on instructions from Rockwell. And yeah, the rest, it was very, very easy to implement. So that was a nice thing. So
What does life look like at this customer now? I'm hoping they have more uptime. I'm hoping they can replace parts if they
Yes.
need them, but what has it been like?
It's been boring because nothing has happened. So we tell our customers when we put a system in is, you had a lot of grief with your old system. This one is gonna be pretty quiet now. Not just because it's new, but it's more smarter. So if something does go wrong, they know about it right away. But nothing has happened. So it really is a boring place over there right now because it's just working.
That's fabulous. Boring is good.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Nick, so much for your time and for sharing your story of how you were able to help this customer of yours. We're very grateful for our partnership with you guys and your ability to talk about Rockwell solutions in the market. We can't wait to see what happens with all of this data that they're gathering on their pumps and where it takes them next in their digital transformation journey. Thanks so much, Nick.
No problem. Thank you very much for the opportunity.